Hello everyone! As I promised you, it is time for my early spring garden tour. Our spring has been very wet and quite cold, so nothing is blooming, and I really wanted to make this video just to go around to tell you what I've done with my garden because I have made so many changes this spring. Last year I planted whatever I found interesting. I just popped the plants wherever in my garden. I saw what grows here, what I like, what I don't, and removed some plants. I added some new and just moved everything around. I did what's called garden editing. But in my case, it was complete renovation of the garden. So I want to go through every single plant, every single flower bed, and tell you what I've done, what I expect from the flower bed to become this season, so that we can compare in a couple of months, maybe in a month and a half, how the garden looks when everything starts blooming and starts getting color. Before we continue, let me tell you that I garden in Zone 7B in Bulgaria, which is Southeast Europe. The climate here, especially in my town, which is Plovdiv, is almost Mediterranean. We have really dry, hot summers, and we have pretty mild winters. This winter, I think it snowed only one day during the whole winter. But we had some late frosts, and you will probably see the results of the late frosts that were uh, late March, even early April. We had probably 2 or 3 frosts, which I think is just like the worst because we didn't have proper winter with snow, and then the all the plants start leafing out, and then we get the pretty severe frost and they get frostburn. Also, keep in mind that maybe 99% of all the plants that you're gonna see here, besides the hedge, besides the Japanese willow tree, everything else was planted either last year or this spring. So most of the plants are really young. They are not well established. They haven't had enough time in the garden to show their true colors. But still, I think that this year is going to be much better than last year because everything has been through almost everything has been through one full growing season. And without further ado, let's begin the garden tour. I want to start right here at the entrance of my garden where I have this arbor with 2 honeysuckles. There are 2 different types of honeysuckle. The left one is called Gold Flame and the right one I completely forgot the name of, but I will write it down for you. These two are so beautiful here. I just love the color of the foliage. It is really pretty. They're very vigorous and really good bloomers. The scent is absolutely amazing. You can feel it later at the evening. Really stunning plants. And I love that they have the same shape of the foliage, the same color, the same growth habits, but on the flowers are gonna be 2 different colors and they're gonna complement each other. As you can see, the left one definitely needs more space because this shrub here is taking over. So probably very soon I'm gonna trim one of the stems, at least one of the stems of this shrub, to give the honeysuckle more space, more air, and definitely more sunlight. Here I have my crepe myrtle tuscarora. This is the variety of the crepe myrtle, absolutely stunning plant. I planted it in the middle of August in the biggest heat wave. It was absolutely unbelievable that it actually grew here and it felt good and it established, and it has already been through one winter, so now it starts to leaf out. As you know, crepe myrtles are pretty late into the season. It's gonna bloom after probably a couple of months, but I'm really happy that it is still alive because I really wasn't sure. It looked absolutely dead, probably not sooner than a week ago. It started to leaf out, and I was so relieved to see that it is doing okay. And it is so beautiful with these multiple trunks, absolutely stunning. Then we have my oleander tree that I don't know the specific variety of, but it has grown so much during the last year. It actually took pretty badly the snow because as you can see, it has leaves and it has such a big heavy crown on a pretty uh, small trunk. So when we had this only one snowfall, it actually the snow built up on the leaves and the tree completely bended over completely. Fortunately, the trunk was flexible enough so that it didn't break. I took off the snow from the leaves, and as you can see, I gave it some support. Now it looks stunning and it looks like it is going to bloom this summer. It has this really beautiful light apricot flowers with absolutely amazing scent. I love the scent of oleander. This is one of my favorite scents in the world. So yes, really, really beautiful. Looks good. Yes, there is some, as you can see, there is some burn from the snow and the frost, but still pretty good for an oleander tree that usually likes very, very warm climate. My other new addition, a tree that I planted later last autumn, it is this Chitalpa tree. I wanted the Chitalpa trees. Oh my god, it lived out. I had no idea. That was quick because I checked it probably a couple of days ago and it only had this really, really small buds. And now, as you can see, it starts leafing out. Oh, I'm so relieved. This was the second tree that looked absolutely dead after the winter. And since it arrived late autumn, it was almost without any foliage. So I wasn't completely sure if the tree is okay, if it is healthy, if everything is good, or it is already dead. I had no idea. But I planted it and I trusted the process. And as you can see, now we had a beautiful Chitalpa tree. I'm so excited. It was so difficult to find a tree like that in my country. It blooms, it is supposed to bloom with these really nice tube like bell shaped flowers, and it is supposed to be scented. And you will notice that this is a theme in my garden. I just love scents. I love things that smell nice. This next corner is, as you can see, work in progress. I have plans to remove the grass around the olive tree since last summer, and I haven't done it yet. As you can see, this is my Rose of Sharon hibiscus shrub. This one is the variety Blue Chiffon, and I had another one that I removed from my garden, and this one actually I planted here just because I had no idea where to put it, and I really didn't want to get rid of it because it blooms beautifully. And I have this idea that I'm gonna train it like maybe a two trunk tree. As you can see, I have these two main trunks here, and if I at one point if I remove the branches, I don't know, I'm not completely convinced yet. Here I have one of my most favorite shrubs. This is Buddleia. I just love Buddleia. I can have thousands of them. I just love the scent, I love the look, I love the variety of colors and sizes and everything else. So here I have two Buddleias, both from the series Butterfly Candy. This is little purple, this is little lila, and as you can see there is significant difference between the sizes of these two. I don't know what is the reason. Probably they're just different, because usually when you have a series of plants, different colors have different growth habits, even though they have the same description and the same labeling. My initial plan was not to have so much blue right here, because we have the Blue Chiffon and then we have the two Buddleias that are dark purple and lighter purple, and I really didn't feel like I don't like it that much. I would much rather have like a bright fuchsia Buddleia on both sides of the Blue Chiffon. But since this is what I have, I decided that I'm gonna plant two orange echinaceas here, and one of these is Meditation Orange and the other one is Supreme Cantaloupe, and I think they're gonna complement each other so beautifully with the blue and purple and the two different types of orange, because the Meditation Orange is really bright orange and the Supreme Cantaloupe is really soft peachy apricot orange. My olive tree got a really heavy haircut because it definitely needed it. It had this really wild shoot that was aiming towards the sky, so I just wanted to give it a nice almost lollipop shape, but I really didn't want to cut it very, very short. So this is what I came up, and I think it looks nice. It definitely needs to the grass to be removed, and then I have to decide what I'm gonna underplant the olive tree, because I think it, why not? If I have space, why not plant something else? This is one of the flower beds that I changed quite a lot this spring, and this is because I decided I want to plant all of my hydrangeas at the same flower bed to make everything, first of all, just easier, fertilizing and watering, and also I just feel like it just looks better, because I just don't like roses and hydrangeas altogether. They're just so different, and just the mass planting of hydrangeas is so beautiful. So what I have here is I have two different colors and almost two different types of microphylla. This is black steel pink bow, and this is black steel Zorro. So these are macrophylla hydrangeas that are supposed to take heat, which you know is not very common with hydrangeas, with microphylla hydrangeas. And then I have three panicle hydrangeas. This is Bobo that almost died last summer, but it looks really nice this season. We have Little Hottie that almost died as well. As you can see, it is so tiny. I wasn't sure it's gonna live this spring, but it did well. And then we have Little Lime Punch looking really nice. The salvia around here is one that really bothers me, because as you can see, we have these few plants that are really big, and then we have a few that are not as big, and I bought them to be the same variety, and it turned out they're just not. And last summer I thought I did something wrong, maybe I cut them in different times, but now after the winter I am absolutely convinced they're just two different types of salvia. They bloom the same way, but just one gets really big, as you can see, and the other stays much more compact. This tree almost got removed this season, but it grows so nicely. It is going to, I don't know if it's gonna bloom. This is called Acer globosum. So it usually has this umbrella-like canopy that doesn't spread too much, it doesn't grow too much in height, but it is really dense. It gives really nice shade and really nice shape and structure. I just like it, and I don't have anything like that in my garden, so I'm gonna leave it for now. It looks good, it grows well, so yes. My magnolia tree, this is the Sensation magnolia that I planted a couple of days ago. Maybe you have seen the video where I planted. As I told you, I'm gonna lose the blooms. They started dropping, and also we had pretty heavy rain, we had hail, so it almost lost all of its blooms. But I really hope it not only starts to leaf out, but I really hope it starts to spread out, because now, as my daughter said, it looks like a coat hanger. And I just can't unsee it now. This beautiful rose bed is gonna get even more changes, even though it was quite transformed this spring. But let me show you what I have here. From last year, I have the pink velour crepe myrtle, which out of all crepe myrtles, I think this is my absolute favorite color. I love it, I adore it. It glows in the dark, it glows in the just in front of the dark green hedging that I have here. Stunning plant, but I just couldn't find one that is bigger, so I planted this little baby, and as you can see, it started to leaf out. There are these little buds, so it is alive. I'm happy. I really wanted something bigger, and definitely I wanted something that is going to be multi-trunk, the same that my Tuscarora crepe myrtle is. But if I find something this summer, maybe I'm going to replace this one, even though I'm going to be sad. I have echinacea, I have my favorite Salvia Caradonna. This is my absolute favorite variety of salvia. I just love it. I adore it. It complements roses beautifully. It has this really nice long stems with dark purple color. It blooms dark purple, beautiful, stunning, and looks really nice dried pressed as well. This is my Spicy Perfumer by Cordes rose, one that is, I don't know if it's gonna stay in my garden. It just doesn't bring me much joy. The flower itself is not interesting and colorful enough, but at the same time, keep in mind that I have had it only for one summer. I planted it last spring. It didn't have the chance to establish, so maybe this year It's gonna bloom better, it's gonna be more fragrant. I'm gonna give it more time, and still I don't have what else to plant here. It's not urgent for me to get it shovel pruned. Then we have Earth Angel, the other cordless rose that is still questionable in my garden. My observation is that English roses are pretty good in taking the overhead watering that I have in my garden, but they just struggle with the heat. That is awful. And German roses take better the heat, but they just don't like the overhead watering. So the all the two cordless roses that I had last summer really suffered with the overhead watering. They just couldn't open the buds. They start to swell, and at one point they just rot on the plant, which I'm absolutely convinced it is from the overhead watering. This was a spicy perfumer, and this was the Earth Angel as well. So I really don't know how the things are going to be this summer. We'll wait and see. This is the center of this rose bed that I planted this spring. I have these two Nipita Catmint. These are Persian blue. I had them in my garden, that's why they're so big and lush, because they are from last summer, but I just transplanted them here. In the on both sides we had the on both sides we have the Salvia caradonna. Then we have one echinacea on each side, then the two Nipita, and then in the middle I have one Buddleia. This is from the series Little Rockstar, and it is bright fuchsia, really beautiful pink. Then I have this newly planted Bliss Perfumer by Cortez. It is supposed to be one of the healthiest roses on the market. And here I have Penelope Lively by David Austin that was transplanted this spring. It was in the other rose bed, but I decided to make some changes, and I'll show you why. Then we have these standard tree rose. This is Poet's Wife, also planted this spring. I was so excited for it. I know it has many thorns, but it is supposed to be one of the most fragrant roses, and also it is yellow. I just love yellow roses. Four delphiniums, you saw me plant them. These are the variety Bluebird, that is gonna be bright medium tone blue, and I think with the yellow it's gonna look stunning. And then plenty of Verbena bonariensis. I have Lollipop, I have Bonnie Blue, so different heights. It is supposed to poke through the leaves and the foliage of the roses, and it is really stunning plant. Butterflies absolutely love it. So I really hope my plan works and the whole composition works. This is my Asiatic jasmine. It blooms in pale yellow. It is really pretty, but I don't think it has woken up yet, even though you see there are these tiny little shoots right here. It starts to wake up. It is a bit late into the season, but it is evergreen. As you can see, the foliage is in a pretty good condition after the winter, so I'm pretty happy with it. And one of my favorite trees, other favorite tree in the garden, it is this ornamental red leaf plum that bloomed absolutely stunning, light pink. The bees were crazy about it. It was buzzing, really pretty tree. And then we go to the other last flower bed, and it is the one that is going to be my main rose bed. And this was the reason that I had to transplant so many plants in the garden, because I really wanted to make it not only my rose bed, but also I wanted to make it symmetrical. I wanted to make it just to make sense to me. So I have three standard tree roses in the back. These are Summer Romance by Cortez. The middle one is Hansestadt Rostock by Rosentanzau, and then on the right hand side we have Flora Colonia by Cortez as well. So we have pink, peachy, pink, and on the front we have the opposite. We have Vanessa Bell, which is yellow, we have Sceptered Isle, which is pink, and we have Roald Dahl, which is peachy. So we have basically pink, yellow, pink, yellow, pink, yellow. This is my concept. I also wanted to have a beautiful border with Nipita. This is Cat's Pajamas Catmint, which I planted a couple of weeks ago, and as you can see, it is already trying to bloom. Maybe because it was started in a greenhouse. As you saw, my Persian blue Nepeta hasn't started blooming yet. Look at Vanessa Bell. It has so many buds. It looks absolutely beautiful, but also it was started in greenhouse as well, probably. That's why it is so ahead. But all my roses actually have buds. This is Summer Romance, already with buds. Let me show you. It has buds. We have Sceptred Isle doesn't have any buds actually, but this is the one that was in my garden, so it is just too early for it. Then we have Hansestadt Rostock, no buds for her yet, but beautiful foliage. I don't think it was pruned really well. It had so many branches. I actually, when I bought it, I had to remove a few of them. But these two roses were such a good find. I found them literally half price to compare to what I usually pay for my standard 3 roses. This one was actually not listed on the Facebook marketplace of the garden center, but I saw it on another picture. I saw it and I went there and just found it. Beautiful, beautiful roses. So my idea is to have these two main tones of roses, pink and peachy yellow, and then we have this the low border, which is gonna be Nepeta Cat's Pajamas, and then we're gonna have higher border, which is gonna be Salvia Caradonna, which is much higher, and then we are gonna have even higher plants that are gonna be my Verbena bonariensis Bonnie Blue, and the highest are gonna be the roses and my delphiniums. These are blue skies blue. I just forgot it, but I'm gonna write it down for you. Blue skies, and plenty of salvia on the both borders, and plenty of echinacea. And this is a new plant that I planted very recently. It's gonna be white and very wispy, really high stems, beautiful. This is our Japanese willow tree that got very severely pruned this spring, and it was the first time for the tree, and I actually got a bit not scared, but I just didn't want to go too hard on it. But I took many branches because it definitely needed it. It needed some airflow inside the canopy. So now I think it looks much better, more airy, more light. So I think it's gonna like it, and I'm gonna prune it again next spring because it definitely needs it. And last but not least are my 3 buddleias right here. These are from the series Little Rockstar, and they bloom light pink, lavender, and bright fuchsia pink. And that's it. So my plans for the near future are to connect these 2 beds right here, because it just doesn't make much sense, right? To have 2 rose beds next to each other, like 50 centimeters apart. The main reason that I haven't done it yet is just because I have no idea what I want to plant right here, and I just don't want to keep it bare, but also don't want to plant whatever just to have something planted in the bed. So I'm just waiting, and maybe maybe this autumn I'm gonna plant a camellia tree. Oh, it started raining. I'm gonna plant a camellia tree or a shrub, I don't know yet, but when I was in the Netherlands, I noticed that people had not only magnolia trees, but also they had plenty of camellia trees and huge shrubs. They were so beautiful, they were in bloom at that moment, so it was really pretty. So maybe I'm going to plant a camellia tree, but I'm not very convinced that it's gonna like it here, because here it is gonna get full day sun, and camellia doesn't like full day sun, especially in our region where it is really hot. So I'm gonna figure it out. I'm thinking I really want some Alstroemeria in my garden. I really want maybe more roses, who knows, maybe another crepe myrtle, something more compact that gives even more color. So these are the plants for now. Well, guys, that was my pretty young and very compact spring garden. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for spending the day with me in my garden. See you soon. Bye.